Welcome to the Groow Zone. My name is Keion Henderson, and this is my lovely wife,
Shaunie Henderson.
And we are excited about what we're going to talk to you about today. But before I talk to them, can I talk to you?
Sure.
How was your week?
My week was lovely so far. I mean, we have one more day left, but it's been a great week. It's been a great week because Miara has gotten like 5 scholarship offers this week.
I wish the people could have seen what I did when I walked in the house, and you all held that information from me.
Yeah,
I walk in, and everybody's sitting on the couch, and so we have all of these daughters, and my wife looks at me and she said, "So you gonna tell them?" I immediately like, Lord have mercy. What has happened? Are you gonna tell me? That could mean so many things.
Could mean a lot of things.
And she said, I heard from Florida, Tennessee, Baylor, LSU, Duke, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And all of these offers came in, and it was during the week that she thought she didn't play her best.
Right. She had a tournament in Virginia last week, and she was really down on herself about, Mom, this was not a good tournament. All the colleges were there. She was extremely disappointed. I wasn't disappointed in her. I thought she played well, but I know she plays better. And I think they had her in a new position. It was just like a lot for her. I think, Miara's her worst critic. But listen, apparently she played splendid.
Splendid.
I said, ma'am, you have your choice now. Now we just got to figure out where.
And so what I did is I had my sandals on.
You did?
I took my sandals off. I got in a full back position. And I ran through the kitchen and the living room and tackled this girl on the couch, and we rolled around on the floor for 3 to 5 minutes just in pure excitement. Like that was good. And I told her we made it.
Right, because then you made her have a full workout in the floor of the
Absolutely, made her immediately. We got in the middle of the living room, started doing sit-ups because she's got to have a core.
But like literally you did it yesterday as if she was going to play a game or something this morning.
Yeah, because the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
Yep, I'll let y'all have it.
So starting now is what makes us good when we get there.
Makes us good,
yeah. Because we're in this together. All right. Oh,
you're playing too.
Literally, I'm on the team.
Got it.
They might as well get 2 jerseys.
That. Right.
Pretty much, I'm there.
They should know that. You're one of those dads.
So that really is a good segue into partnership because you and I are in marriage and in business together.
We are.
And I know my leadership style is when we do something, I get in there all the way, right? Like we're doing it together. And yours is more of an administrative, as I look at it, it's like, okay, now what are all of the components to this, right?
Yes, I need to see the full vision.
So what do you think the difference is between you and I, experientially or even for couples? Like, how do we share the load, and what's different about me and you?
Well, I think our leadership skills are different. Like I am one of those people, if I'm leading a project, I have the vision of the project, I'm going to share the vision with the team and then kind of delegate everybody's responsibilities. But I want details throughout the process, so that if anything pivots or I think of something else. So I'm the type, overload me with the details of the project so that I know, everything's aligned. But you are opposite. You don't want all the details along the way. You're like, here's the vision, get it done, and I'll be back when it's time to deliver. So we, even with staff, they get a little confused because you don't want details, but I do. But then on the flip side, we do something like this when we're doing we don't want to have, well, I wouldn't say a schedule, but we don't like the details because we just talk to each other on a regular. We have candid conversations on a regular. So this is like easy for us to just do without having a set skew of exactly what we're doing, right?
Yeah, because I think I'm pretty consistent in the way I receive and give the information, like whether it's the podcast or whether it's the building, whatever it is, I give the vision.
Yeah.
I let the experts do it. Don't need all of the details all along the way. Here's my thing. I say, give me the first 10%. Call me if you need me in the middle. Give me the last 10%. Because I've got to go to the next project and make sure that I'm there for that. And then I think yours is more of situationally based, because when it comes to something that's physically produced by you, you want to know the
All
details.
of them.
If it's produced by somebody else, you don't want the details because you like the flexibility.
And probably because I'm not going to like something. I don't want to say it, so I'll let them do it.
Well, let's correlate that to relationship then. So imagine in a relationship you have one person who's the what you said. I'm like the how would you describe me
As far as
as
leadership?
a leadership role? Yeah.
I think you have a good vision all the time. You all usually have a very good vision. Sometimes, though, let me give you an example. Cry Out. You had a vision that we did not understand. That's hard because your visions and sometimes yours are more spiritual. So it's hard for us to grasp what you're saying because it's coming from a different place. So specifically when it has to do with the church and you have like a vision or a goal for us that is coming from a spiritual place, it's sometimes hard to register on our end, but we have to just kind of go with you. And those pieces come as you get them. So we're just kind of like, waiting for it.
Because
So that's
I think that
different.
one of the most difficult things with leadership is that people think the leader knows everything when he starts.
Right.
I mean, so it's like a wife and a husband getting upset with each other. If the husband says, "Hey, babe, I've got this vision for us to start a trucking company," it doesn't mean he already knows what city, what state, how many trucks, what's the mileage on the truck,
gonna
how
need
much
him to
the
know
truck
that.
costs. You need him to know that, but it's impossible for him to know that. That would be like me saying, "Hey, babe, we're pregnant today. Now tell me what kind of pregnancy you're going to have in month 1." You don't know if you're going to have morning sickness. You don't know if it's going to be a painful birth. So to ask the leader to express what level of tolerance or pain I'll have in the birth, I don't know it until I get there. And it's the same way with leadership. You don't know when you're going to have contractions. You don't know when you're going to be bedridden. You don't know if it's going to be a pregnancy that doesn't affect you at all. And so sometimes in relationships, I think that there are always two types of leadership. I think us is visionary-facilitator.
Okay.
Right.
That's fair.
So I think that those are two roles that I think that, or at least one idea that I think anybody in a relationship should at least try to figure out, what do I bring to the table? Right.
So visionary.
Facilitator. So
Are
if
you
I
ever
think
the
of it, you make it
facilitator?
happen. Yeah, I think I can go back and forth.
You don't like
and
the
be both.
facilitator part, though.
I do, but if I facilitate, then I handicap the facilitators that I have with me. So I think that in the process that answering all of my staff's problems handicaps them. Sometimes I know the answer, but I'm going to let them figure it out because they get stronger and I decrease so that they might increase.
What about in this relationship?
What's the question?
Do you? You're the visionary. I'm the facilitator. Are you ever the facilitator and I'm the visionary? Would you say?
Oh yeah, it depends on what it is. Because I think you have great ideas. Sometimes you'll say, "Hey, babe, I was thinking such and such," and then I say, "Okay, that's a good idea." I think that you don't like to release facilitation, so we be co-facilitating.
Wow, that's a lot of facilitation,
Yeah,
co-facilitating.
it's pretty much what happens.
I do have an issue with co-facilitating
It's
sometimes.
pretty much control.
It is. It is because it's like, I know what I want done. And sometimes, like you said, it's hard to explain to someone, or you explain to someone and they're not quite doing it the way you want it done. It's just easier for me to do it myself.
But remember this, especially when you're dealing with a man. When you take the experience away from me, then it leaves me into a position where I don't have it. And then the next conversation is about my mind reading. Like, I won't know what to do if you do it for me. So sometimes you got to let me do it so that you can coach me through, hey, I don't like it. I don't like it that way.
So how do you think that the visionary facilitator roles look to our kids?
Depends on which kids you're talking about. Because I think that they're all different. Because Miara is with us, I think she understands the difference between facilitator and visionary. If it's sports, which is a big part of her life, I'm probably facilitator because I do it with her.
Okay.
When it comes to the life stuff that you all talk about, that I'm, obviously because I'm a guy and you guys are girls, then you're going to be all visionary, all facilitator, and then at the end of the day, once you all hash it out, then you bring it to me so I can kind of give an ancillary perspective. So it depends. When it comes to Miles, I think Miles is pretty much his own facilitator and visionary. I think that Sharif needs a visionary, but I think once he gets the vision, he knows how to facilitate it.
I agree.
I think that with Shakir,
Shakir needs a visionary.
He needs a visionary and a facilitator.
And he wants both. He fine with having both.
He definitely wants both. And I think that Mimi wants both, but it's circumstantial.
Correct. I agree with you.
And Caitlin's so young, she don't know what she wants. So we got to figure out what she wants later. I think Keitlin just wants to play. I don't know if she wants a vision. Although she did tell me the other day, for the first time ever, she's stuck with what she wants to do with her life for more than 2 weeks. She told me the other day she wants to be an interior decorator.
Wow. I thought it was a veterinarian.
Mm-hmm. But see, remember, this was 2 weeks in a row, so I think we're making progress because she's afraid of animals, so I'm pretty sure she's not going to be one of those. But she's stuck with the same answer twice. So I think it depends on which child you're talking about of which road that we take.
I agree. And I think the communication with our kids is different to where they don't necessarily, they probably wouldn't be able to answer that question on who's the visionary, who's the facilitator, because I think we play both roles in different circumstances, like you said. So sometimes I need you to come in and be both to, let's say, Miara, if she's having one of those moments where she and I are just butting heads. You know, she's 16, going on 17, and you butt heads with your mom at some point. And to her, sometimes I just don't understand her. You know, that's in her words. She just doesn't understand me. And then that's when you are the visionary and facilitator. So I think that we're able to balance it out, and it's almost like a tag, you're it moment, depending on what's going on. And we've kind of, I don't want to say we have mastered it, because sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, I don't really know what to do. So we then have to talk about it, and then we come up with the vision and the plan and how to facilitate together. So it's not even a role playing at that point. It's like a team.
Yeah, what I think it is, I think it's us sharing the spotlight in the house. Because here's the deal. When Miara doesn't agree with you, I absolutely most times agree with your perspective, but I do know that going to her with your perspective won't win her. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I become the opposite of what she's viewing you as intentionally, so that way I can get her to see that we're in agreement, but I can't take the same route that you all took, because I didn't have the conversation in the car or in the kitchen or in the living room. So I sit back, I listen, and I say, okay, well, she got all facilitation from mama. Let me be visionary right now. Or she got all vision from mama. Let me be facilitator for the purposes of winning her. But at the end of the day, she'll tell you, I always get to the place where we're in agreement on this. All right?
You and I.
Yeah. We're in agreement on this because that shared spotlight. See, like if you look in the sky right now, the stars are not in competition with the sun. They just shine at different times, right? The stars are out there now, but right now the sun is in charge. And when it goes away, then the other stars will have their moment. And having competition in the house isn't good for the house, right? Right. Whether it's husband,
or they
wife,
feel like they could play on one or the other.
Or they will play on it.
Yeah. My daddy used to not play that. He'd be like, don't you play with me and your mama like that. Like, you know,
so
mom
explain
would
that.
say,
what do you mean?
So, you know, if your mom says no, you sneak off and go ask your dad and get him to say yes. And then you can go back and be like, Mom, Dad said yes. Oh, we would get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
You did not play one parent against the other.
Yeah, that's a no-no. Well, let me ask you this then, because isn't it amazing? And let's just talk about it, because we always tell people in the Groow Zone, we're not experts. We're what? Experience, yeah. So isn't it true that sometimes in relationships with each other or with our children, we will ensure that they don't create competition with us? But why don't we, as grown people, hold ourselves to the same level of accountability?
That's a good question.
Like, how many people listening to us right now will put their kids on a month's worth of punishment for playing them against each other, but won't punish themselves as adults for playing each other?
And what do you mean by playing, like the adults playing each other?
Yeah, like, so for instance, if I say no to Miara about shoes, and then she can come to you and say yes, that's a problem, right?
Correct.
Well, what if you and I made a financial goal that we're not going to spend a certain amount of money, but you go off and do it? Or what if you tell me, babe, let's not, we're not going to do that in that area, and then I go and do whatever that is in that area.
Yeah.
Like, why don't people in relationship, and I'm not saying that we do this, but I mean for the broader conversation for our listeners, why don't those of us in relationships as adults hold ourselves to the same level of scrutiny?
Yeah, like knowing you're gonna get in trouble. I think that, I don't know. We know some folks that have that issue, right? Like, but I think after years of being together, they've just accepted, like, he or she is gonna do what they want to do, and it's not even an argument. It's just like, I said no, but they're gonna do it anyway. It
But
is
is
what
that
it
healthy?
is.
Would you say that's
doubt
healthy?
it. I doubt it. No, I would be very frustrated with that. I mean, I do think there are exceptions to that, but if it's something like finances or, promises that we've made to each other or commitments we've made to each other that we're just breaking, I think it could start a very bad habit. But, you said she can't buy that purse and she goes and buys the purse anyway. I mean, is it a Target purse? Is it a...
So okay, so now
it's
we're
level two. It's levels two.
We can break the rule at Target. We just can't break it at Hermes.
I mean, okay, let's say it's me and you.
Okay.
And you say, babe, don't buy that purse.
Now let's stop there.
No,
why
don't
would
buy
I say
a purse. Don't buy another purse. Because you have said that. You have said
no,
that to me.
I've never said don't buy a purse. I always said don't buy another purse.
That's
Please
what you
put
said.
that
Okay.
another word in
You
there.
said, babe, don't buy another purse.
This week. This month.
Okay, maybe month.
Okay.
You'll be like, babe, don't buy another purse this month. And I don't.
Yes.
But if I did, would it be levels to that purse?
Yeah, I'm still not. It's not going to be.
You don't really mean it. I know. See?
No,
So
it's not that I don't mean it, guys. Let me stick up for you right
Really
now, because
don't
that
mean
is
it.
not what I mean.
They don't mean it, ladies.
No, that is not what I'm saying.
They never mean it.
I don't mean
No means yes.
not another purse. It's never about the purse.
What is it about?
It's the discipline.
Didn't nobody ask you
Okay,
to give me
well,
discipline that week?
Can I play golf every day?
Sure.
Now that the purse is in the...
Purse golf. Sure. Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
Play
So
from that
guys,
7 to 11 window.
here's the strategy. If you have... Barter. Golf for bags. Okay.
I mean, I need more than bags.
And it's okay, because I think I just heard you say they can come from Target. So guys, they don't have to be expensive.
I mean, they can, maybe. If you're a Target
bag
buyer.
every day, golf bag every day.
If you're a Target bag buyer.
Question.
Yes.
I know you got an answer to this.
Probably.
What happens in a relationship when spouses do business together like we do? Mm-hmm. And there is this issue that kind of finds its way into the marriage. Like, what is, just straight out of your mind right now cognitively, what's the strategy for handling that? Because right now, everybody's starting businesses and everybody's writing books. You look on Instagram, everybody's becoming an expert at everything.
Isn't that annoying?
In the absence of experience.
Yes.
But what do we do as with our platform to help people to matriculate through that process? How do you keep the baggage from business from bleeding into the marriage?
Well, luckily, I think we're pretty honest. I don't know if we have baggage from business, because we do a good job. And again, it is experience that has only taught this, of communicating. I think we have learned that we have to talk. We have to say what it is, what we're thinking, the new developments, what balls have been dropped. We have to continue to communicate to where we don't bring baggage into the marriage from business, because it can happen. You can get frustrated in a project you're doing together that, you take into the bedroom, and then, the spouse is turning over, and got your back to the person. So I think that we do a pretty good job just communicating in that area. I, for one, have in the front of my head at all times to not I just don't want to take what we do all day home. And even though sometimes we do what we do at home, we're on Zooms, we're in business meetings, but I don't like that to bleed into our couple family time, dinner time, when we go sit down and watch the game. I don't like for that to go into that space. So even if that means it's clogged in your head, it's just, you just got off the Zoom that has consumed you, whatever it is, I'm going to try to shift the atmosphere with a conversation that has nothing to do with that, or a joke, or talk about, or make dinner, and when I turn the corner with dinner, you like, ooh, like I didn't know I was getting,
I see you doing that stuff though. Actually,
so did you see how I do that?
I see you.
So I really try to work hard at doing that, and again, it is strictly off of just a learning process for me, and just being aware. I think it's always important to just be aware of what works and what doesn't work. And, I'm old. I'll be learning stuff after all these years.
Well, you know what I've learned? On the other end, what I've learned is we keep the peace in business and relationship if I learn that I have to keep you involved from the beginning. So
okay.
if you are involved in the beginning, then you feel connected to the outcome. It's when there's an outcome and you don't find out about it until the ball is already rolling, that we got to discuss the beginning that I could have just discussed in the beginning.
Correct.
So just getting you involved early.
Yeah, I can let it go.
You can let it go.
Yeah.
And for me, I let it go because I now know I can trust the outcome if you're involved. And that is where I think the biggest issues come in relationship is when people don't trust the outcomes.
Right. We had a project like that where
so you're going right where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just not only being okay with the outcome, just trusting that whatever I'm going to be okay with this outcome, no matter, listen, win, lose, or draw, I'm good with the outcome because we started it in partnership together. And guess what? If we share the spotlight, we share the failure, we share the success. And I don't believe in relationships where you split the negative and share the positive.
Right.
Like
that's
if we won together, we won together.
Right. Your
if
wins
we lost,
are my, yep.
And what's our rule? If we came together,
we leaving together.
We leaving together.
For
so
sure.
ain't no showing up and then I'll meet you later.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And I think that, again, that is experience. That is just knowing when to step in when the other person is weak. So if I know you're consumed with something and it has bothered you and you need to soften a bit or you need an escape, then I need to step in that space. Mm-hmm. So stepping in where you're weak, you step in where I'm weak. When I'm frustrated with Miara and we're having that mom-daughter thing, you know how to step in and relieve me from whatever that emotion is that I'm going through. Sometimes it's frustration, sometimes it's anger, sometimes I'm sad, whatever it is, you see that, you feel that, mm-hmm. you step in, and vice versa. So I think that's really important in learning your partner's, I don't want to use the word deficit, but just...
That's a fine word, though.
Yeah.
Because because everybody want to act like they don't have them.
Right.
Like, they'll see us on, like, literally, we should just tell people, yes, we've had arguments.
Right.
Yes, we disagreed.
Yeah.
But we understand that conflict is a part of our growth, and we don't look at it as an unnecessary evil. It's the only way I've learned about you.
That is so true.
Through the conflict.
That is so true. Like we've had some arguments to where we knew in that moment, maybe not in that moment, because in that moment you're kind of mad and I don't.
You use the word "you" a lot, but go ahead.
Okay, sorry, we are mad, mm-hmm. But I will say this: after whatever argument we have ever had, I did learn something.
Absolutely.
But that's not always the case. Like, think back to arguments you've had in past relationships. I don't know that I walked away saying, gosh, I learned something about him, or I learned something about her, whether it's a friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage. I don't know that I was mature enough to have that argument, that disagreement, and walk away with learning something about that person. Like, I see that that's a trigger for that person, mm-hmm. or I see why that person gets angry about this, or I see why they made that decision. I might not agree, but I learned something. I don't know that I was mature enough to do that. Now, after all that experience, I literally can disagree with you, have an argument with you, because like whatever it is, and walk away with something. If it takes me 24 hours, it just might. But I'm like, okay, I see where he's coming from. I see why. And next time I'll handle it this way. Or next time I'll communicate with him in this space. I always learn something though.
Let me tell you
Always.
why I think that's important. And this is two things. Number one, couples always try to figure out how to share the spotlight, but nobody ever has any conversations about sharing the darkness. That is important. We got to have both, because no relationship is going to have all light.
Right.
And then
except on Instagram.
Except on Instagram, and that's cap, because that ain't true. And then no relationship has all darkness, because if it was all darkness, we wouldn't be this far in. But we forget about the light when we're in the darkness, and you got to have both. In fact, if I had a battery right now, there'd be a positive end and a negative end, and no power comes through that battery without both positive and negative. So that's number one. Here's number two, though, and you talked about learning something from each other. I don't think you should be with anybody you don't learn from.
That's very true. Nobody tells you that either.
You learn, that's experience.
That's experience.
If I'm not, I have to be able to learn. You have to be able to stimulate my mind.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because if we build a relationship that is not just romantically based, then we have something to stand on. We don't like each other at the moment. When I don't like what you said, when you don't like what I said, listen, I love you so much that if you brought me some food that I didn't like, I would pretend to like it.
Yeah, like the
if you
acai
cooked
bowl.
it.
I ate it
If
today.
you cooked it. Now, if you brought it in from somewhere else, I'd be like, no, don't order it from them people no more. But if you cooked it.
And you didn't like it? Have you eaten any food that you didn't like that I made? While we're on
that
this
you made?
Uh-huh. Ooh.
Only the food that you threw away and didn't like either.
Oh, then I really didn't serve it to you then, right?
You made me taste it.
Sorry.
But you cooked it with love. I tasted love, but it was a little
As
crispy.
long as, listen, ladies, that's my thing. Cook it with love. Whatever it is. I tell my niece Raquel this all the time for her husband. I'm like, Raquel, cook it with love. Even if it's sweet potato French fries, which she will throw in the oven. Cook them with love, ma'am. And she's doing so good at it. But it's important.
So with us being together and almost like coexisting as lights in the galaxy, if you will, like, I can go to church and drive up and everybody says, hey, Pastor, how are you? Pastor, how are you? Then I can get in the car with you and go to the set of a show and it's Miss Shaunie this, Miss Shaunie that. And I love how, when sometimes we would come in church and you feel like they don't know you. And so you'll just kind of back off.
Right.
And then sometimes I'm with you in your arena and I'll just stand to the side. But have you noticed now that as we go into these different places, it's like our name is Shaunie Keion. It's not like
right.
Shaunie and Keion.
Right.
It's kind of like Pastor First Lady.
Right.
What did we do, or if anything, where people are starting to see the two become one? Where do you think that transition took place in business, in relationship, in ministry, where people started to see it as one?
I think it's probably social media, I would imagine, and them just seeing we do a lot together. We move together a lot. We do a lot of business together. We travel together. We do podcasts together. So I think that this new path or journey that we're on together is just something that, I don't know, we're both 40 plus. We have this audience of people that are our age that are not in relationships and that we give hope to. I mean, I think if I wasn't in this and watching it, I would be like, oh, wow, like they really found each other at this point in their lives. It's not common. And I think
that's good.
Also people can feel genuineness, and I think what we have is real. Although, I made a joke about, relationships are wonderful on Instagram and we only show the highlights of our relationship, which is true, because I don't know if we would go to Instagram during an argument.
To see negative.
We do argue. We do not agree all the time. It's a thing, but we know how to communicate through it. We know how to recover. We know how to resolve. So that's, that's also very important.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how we became a thing. I mean, you're cute. I'm cute. We could just be cute together.
Yeah, I think you're
We
cute.
like going to Target
I do.
together.
See, that's what I love about, let me tell you what I love about you and why I think our audience connects to us. Because I did have a thought behind the question.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Like, you'll go to Target.
Yes, I
and
will.
like we did yesterday.
And today.
And have a great time. And you will go to the Galleria and go into one of the boutique shops and enjoy it there too. I love that nothing's too good for you and nothing's beneath you, right?
That's correct.
That watching us right now, you have people who don't even know how they're going to pay the next bill. And then you have somebody watching us right now whose bills have been paid all year long. And an experience will hit you in your face no matter what economic status you have.
That part.
Right. So I think that people can buy our experience because we have been as broke as you can be.
Correct.
And as comfortable as you can be. And we've been in between both. And never forgetting that up here doesn't make you and down there doesn't break you. Like all of the stuff in between is what makes, to me, is what makes us relatable. I think that people look at us and say, man, those guys can make it a base and a bound. And that's where most of America or this nation or this globe is. Everybody's somewhere, most of us are right in the middle, trying to figure out how not to fail and go backwards. And what's the next move we need to make to go forward, which I think, going back to the genesis of our conversation, is the effectiveness of our partnership. Like just trying to figure out, who drives here and who rides shotgun. And another thing that I thought about that makes us successful, that we should share with our audience, is one thing we've made sure is that we never, and I can't say never because that's an absolute, that we try our best not to make assumptions.
Right.
That we try our best.
Bishop told us that.
Oh my God.
He really.
That assumption thing, assuming you know what I meant, assuming you know what I think, and everybody knows what that old adage is about assumptions or assuming, but like, do you agree just that absence of assumption is a key?
I mean, I think we talked about this on another episode where I can assume you're going to react to something the way you did the last time.
You did. I remember that.
And it's a horrible assumption because, again, we just talked about learning, when you disagree or whatever it is, you learn something from that moment. So to assume that you're going to react the same that you did the last time is not fair. But you're right. To assume like, he didn't like that last time, so I'm not going to do it again. Just maybe didn't like it that day. Not that you didn't want it. It's very black and white to just make an assumption for your partner, which is something we try not to do. I'm not going to say I'm not guilty.
I'm not. I mean, this is what I think about assumptions. I think assumptions is like a person who goes out and scores 30 points in a basketball game, taking all bad shots, and then comes back and takes all of those shots and think they're good because they went in last time. You're taking assumptions, making assumptions because it worked 2 times out of 10 doesn't mean it's a great strategy.
So would you say that I should ask you, as your partner, I should ask you the same thing? Or should I assume that...
Give me an example.
That's a hard example. Let's say, I know you like oatmeal.
Okay.
Right? Should I assume that you want oatmeal twice a week? Because you liked oatmeal twice a week for, 3 weeks. Should I assume that, or would you rather me ask?
I would rather you, see, when it comes to food, I just rather you just do it.
Yeah, you don't like me to ask you about food. That might be I asked different men. Some of your friends agree. Don't ask what I want to eat. Just make it. What is that? I want you to ask me.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know why. I don't know why I'm like that. I really don't have a preference when it comes to food. I really don't. So it's not an absolute.
That is one thing that we are not
in agreement on?
In agreement on.
So you think I should have input?
No, I just need you to be more excited about food, period. And you don't get excited about food, which frustrates me. So you guys want to know a frustration I have with
You heard it. You heard it, everybody.
with my spouse? He does not get excited about food.
You know why?
That's a whole nother subject. I think we should probably start another episode.
Maybe we should have a
whole conversation
about food.
I'm getting worked up.
Well, I tell you what, I don't have any feedback.
So I assume what you want to eat every day.
And what do?
You eat it.
Great assumption. See, you're so good at this. I mean, you are absolutely amazing.
Oh, God. Anywho.
Now, on the other end, let's talk about parenting for a second.
Okay.
Should we make assumptions when it comes to a situation with one of the children, or should we talk about it?
We should
assume or communicate.
We should communicate.
Exactly. So that means that it ain't absolute, because there are certain things.
True. There's categories for
categories,
assumptions.
but in a relationship, communication will tell you where you can assume and where you got to ask.
That's good. It's observing what those categories are.
So I just thought about something. Is this possible for us to give to the people? We can give our partner the permission to assume in an area. So once you have permission to assume, then you have to be okay with what the person chooses.
We have not done that.
Yeah. So when it comes to food, I am telling you to assume.
Okay. Well, and I get this whole assumption thing, but I think what I'm kind of asking is for help in the decision-making area, because just like you, I make a bunch of decisions all day long. And let's use food let's stick with the food. For me to decide what you want to eat is another decision. So when I'm saying, babe, hey, what do you want to eat tonight? And you say, I don't know, whatever you pick. Then I'm sitting there and you see me do this, like struggle with what is that?
I got an easy answer for that.
Let me add a little something for the people. You can only eat chicken, pasta, and red meat.
Which makes your decisions easy.
It does not, because all the seafood's off the table.
I tell you what.
And anything
I have a solution.
Or seafood juice.
I have a solution. Seafood juice. That's hilarious. I have a very, very easy answer for that.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I'll eat what you eat.
That's not a decision, though.
That's a great decision.
Because you will not. If I want crab legs, you cannot have that.
Yep. Then that's the day you got to make two decisions. But on the days you don't eat seafood, I eat anything you eat.
Babe,
okay, I will help you decide what I want to eat. Is that what you want to hear?
I do.
I will help you. I want chicken, tacos, steak. Now just pick between those three any day you want to. I don't care what order they come in. I don't care how often. It could be tacos 6 days straight, steak 1 day. Just pick. Lamb. Put that in there too. That's lamb, steak, chicken, tacos. That's the only 4 things I want.
That's horrible.
Okay, tell me how you would like me to contribute to the decision making.
When I say, babe, what do you want to eat tonight? I would like you to choose what you want to eat, not what you just did, but literally say, babe, today I would like meatloaf.
Okay. Can't promise it, but I'll try.
Just at least sometimes. Yeah, I'm not saying Monday through Friday. I mean, just like sometimes. So, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. What are our takeaways? I think one is never assume without permission. That's
huge.
You added that point, and that's actually really good. Sometimes you got to, what did you say? Sometimes you'll be the visionary. Sometimes you'll be the facilitator. It'll reverse. It'll be a team thing. And what's the third one? It's a third one.
We have to share the light and the darkness.
Yes. Share the spotlight in the light and I guess the darkness. What is it? It's not a spotlight, is it?
No, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite of that.
It's sharing the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Like if we did it, we did it. If we didn't do it, we didn't do it. Right. Especially since we started together. I think that those are couple goals for all of us.
For sure.
Yeah.
We came together, we leaving together.
Listen, as a matter of fact, that's a good place to stop this podcast. We came together and we're leaving together. Thank you for being with us on another episode of the Grow Zone. And thank you for allowing us to grow right in front of you. And hopefully you're growing right in front of us. Remember, growth is an inside job. We'll see you next time.